Hi and welcome everyone. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Kristi Narayana and today I'm going to talk about coronavirus disease, the vaccines. As we know, that this virus has existed since 2020, starting from the Chinese country to all over the world. Governments and medical personnel are trying to create vaccines for this virus to be overcome. First, let's talk about, excuse me, how will we know if COVID-19 vaccines are safe? Ensuring the safety and quality of vaccines is one of WHO's highest priorities. WHO works closely with national authorities to ensure that global norms and standards are developed and implemented to assess the quality, safety, and efficacy of vaccines. There are many strict protections in place to help ensure that COVID-19 vaccines are safe. Like all vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines are going through a rigorous multi-stage testing process, including large or phase 3 trials that involves tens of thousands of people. This trial, which includes some groups at high risk for COVID-19, certain groups like pregnant and lactating women were not included in vaccine trials, are specifically designed to identify any common side effects or other safety concerns. Next one, what types of COVID-19 vaccines are being developed and how would they work? The first one is inactivated or weakened virus vaccines, which use a form of the virus that has been inactivated or weakened so it doesn't cause disease, but still generates an immune response. The next one is protein-based vaccines, which use harmless fragments of proteins or protein shells that mimic the COVID-19 virus to safely generate an immune response. And the next one is viral vector vaccines, which use a safe virus that cannot cause disease but serves as a platform to produce coronavirus proteins to generate an immune response. And the last one is RNA and DNA vaccines, a cutting-edge approach that uses genetically engineered RNA and DNA to generate protein that itself safely prompts an immune response. Next one, we're going to talk about what are the benefits of getting vaccinated. The COVID-19 vaccines produce protection against the disease as a result of developing an immune response to the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Developing immunity through vaccination means there is a reduced risk of developing the illness and its consequences. This immunity helps you to fight the virus if exposed. Getting vaccinated may also protect people around you, because if you are protected from getting infected and from the disease, you are less likely to infect someone else. This is particularly important to protect people at increased risk of severe illness from COVID-19, such as healthcare providers, older or elderly adults, and people with other medical conditions. So let's move on to how about Indonesia? We live in Indonesia, so we have to know what is going on in Indonesia, what is happening in Indonesia. So in January 2021, government statements explained that the productive age group would receive COVID-19 vaccines first, and people over the age of 65 later. To underline this prioritization policy, President Widodo, who is 59, was vaccinated on January 13th, and Vice President Ma'ruf Amin, who is 77, was not. On the same day, Professor Amin Subandrio, a government advisor on the pandemic, argued that it was best to immunize working people who go out of the house and all over the place, and then at night come back to home to their families, where they might infect elderly family members. Health Minister Budi Gunadi Sadikin said the country will receive an additional 10 million doses of vaccine through April, meaning that at base there will be 300,000 doses per day. The problem is more about vaccine production, not about our vaccination capability, he said in the video conference with Gadjah Mada University alumni in Jakarta. He estimated the rate of vaccination will gather the pace in the second half of the year, when a larger amount of vaccine begins to arrive regularly. Okay, so the conclusion is the impact of COVID-19 vaccines on the pandemic will depend on several factors. These include the effectiveness of the vaccines, how quickly they are approved, manufactured, and delivered, the possible development of other variants, and how many people get vaccinated. Real trials have shown several COVID-19 vaccines to have high levels of efficacy. Like all other vaccines, COVID-19 vaccines will not be 100% effective. WHO is working to help ensure that approved vaccines are as effective as possible so they can have the greatest impact on the pandemic. I think that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you get something and you get information from my presentation, and thank you.